Well, welcome to season 11 of Bottom of the Stream. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome, and welcome thrice.
3 welcomes.
Yeah. To the movie show.
The movie show is back.
For Bottom of the Stream.
It's better than ever. It's bigger than ever.
It's massive.
Where do we even begin? This is season 11 of Bottom of the Stream. It's insane.
We're into our second 250 movie.
We are.
This is movie 251.
We are indeed.
Since our show started.
And if you haven't listened to last week's Wave, then you're in for a bit of a shock because the movie show is a little bit different now than it was back then.
Yeah, it is. So we have always previously been searching for hidden gems at the bottom of the Netflix stream.
We have.
And we're still going to do that.
Yep.
But we've added another streaming service.
Yeah.
To our boat. Because we're not just using Netflix, we're also using Amazon Prime.
We have expanded our net to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we just got a longer list of movies because we...
Why not?
Why not?
Why not punish ourselves?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we're doing. So the movie can either be Amazon or Netflix. And this week, the movie that Robin randomly selected is from Amazon.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fix. Feels like it was a fix. Wasn't a fix.
No, genuinely.
Genuinely.
We are still randomly selecting movies. There's just a bigger list to choose.
It would have been a bit of a letdown if this one had been a Netflix movie, though, wouldn't it? It feels right. I think Robin knew that.
It's not down to us.
I think it's right.
Yeah.
And Robin has selected us a movie called Nessie Me.
Sure.
It is on Amazon Prime. It was released in 2016. It's a PG. It runs for 1 hour and 30 minutes exactly, and it's currently rated at 3.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
I mean, it's quite low.
3.2 is quite low, isn't it? That is quite low. It's a family movie.
Cool.
We haven't done many family movies in this show. This movie stars a guy called, I think he's called Michael Parry, I'm going for. He plays Dad. He's credited as Dad in the movie.
Fine.
Okay? This guy has 217 acting credits on IMDb.
Nice.
Fucking loads. He's been in everything, ever. But I had no idea. I'd never heard of him before. I just thought that was quite an interesting fact, so I thought I'd give it to you. Also in this movie is a lady called Toni Hudson.
Okay.
She's credited as Mum. She used to be married to Dirk Benedict.
Really?
Yes.
Fine. That is by far the biggest claim to fame of this movie.
I agree. It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, Dirk Benedict, what a legend.
She's actually in one episode of The A-Team.
I liked his brother, Eggs.
Agreed. And she's also, another fact about this lady.
Yeah.
There's a little boy in this film called Jamie.
Yep.
That is her real life son.
Okay.
She is the mother of that child.
Yeah.
However, he's not Dirk Benedict's son.
Okay.
But I guess who's the main character in this film? Larry?
It's very hard to tell reasons that we will come to.
Larry is played by Paul Wallace.
Sure.
Never done anything since this.
Okay.
No acting credits since this movie.
He's completed acting.
He has, yeah. Once you've been in Nessie Me,
yeah.
you've completed acting. Acting. This film was written by a guy called Jim Wynorski and a guy called Carl Salminen. And it was directed by Jim Wynorski. There's a character.
Isn't he?
Jim Wynorski, man. I'll just give you the first line on his IMDb profile.
Okay.
A 25-year veteran in the Hollywood exploitation field.
Lovely.
Which is not something you expect to see from the director of a family movie.
Not really.
Yeah, he is. He's done some stuff. He has done some stuff.
Yeah, so he's directed a lot of what I would say.
Yep.
Are... You know when Channel 5 first launched in the UK?
Yeah.
And they always used to have a bit of a dirty movie on a Friday night.
Yeah.
With what's her name? She's married to Gene Simmons. Blonde, big boobs. All those sort of movies she was in.
She dead.
Shannon someone.
Yeah, I do know who you mean. I cannot think what she's
So
called.
he directed all these sort of soft focused bit of boob erotic thrillers.
Can I give you some names of films?
Go for it.
Attack of the 50-Foot Cam Girl.
Okay.
Came out in 2022.
More recent.
Sexy Nurses came out in 2017.
Wow.
Legend of the Naked Ghost came out in 2017. A Doggone Christmas, which is a Christmas dog movie, came out just after Nessie and Me. But just before Nessie and Me was Shark Babes,
Yeah.
preceded by Scared Topless. Shark and Saw, Woman's Prison Massacre, which is a shark in a woman's prison. Sexually Bugged. It just goes on. Sexy Wife Sensations. Piranaconda. He directed Piranaconda.
I've got a fact about Piranaconda.
Busty Coeds versus Lusty Cheerleaders.
Okay.
Camel Spiders.
We are through the looking glass.
We really are. I don't know how you go from Busty Cops Go Hawaiian to Nessie and Me. It just blows my mind.
Can
The
I...
Hills Have Thighs.
Oh, that's a good title.
The Devil Wears Nada.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just going to keep going. Interrupt me, please. Keep going. Say something, Nick.
That's fine.
House on Hooter Hill.
I would like to reference a paragraph on Wynorski's Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Obviously, it tracks his career.
Yeah.
And there's a paragraph, a section called Return to Family Films.
Return to Family Films.
Yeah,
Okay.
and even this is a crazy paragraph, which I will read out. It's only short.
Alabama Jones and the Busty Crusade.
In recent years, Wynorski has returned to the family film genre,
Right.
making Nessie and Me in
Okay.
2016,
Yeah.
which is in a shared universe
Oh, right.
with Dino Croc, Super Gator, Dino Croc versus Super Gator, and Piranaconda.
They're in this universe.
Yes,
Right.
due to the lead character referencing said film's title monsters in the other movies.
Yeah. Fair.
And also Monster Cruise, from which many characters returned for Nessie and Me.
Yeah.
That's
I wanna
not
talk to you
quite
about
the whole
Monster
story.
Cruise.
He also directed A Doggone Christmas, which spawned a sequel, Doggone Hollywood.
Right. Okay.
It's like, by day, family film director. By night, porn.
He uses fake names for most of his pawns as well. Well, not even pawns. They're
No,
just like
titillation.
some films he's credited
Exploitation.
as Tom Popolopodous.
Nice.
Jay Andrews he's been credited as a few times. There was another one. Let me find it. Harold Blueberry. He's been that a couple of times. H.R. Blueberry.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't always use his own actual name. He's using a lot of synopsis.
Wow.
No, pseudonyms.
Yeah.
Jamie Wagner
Nice.
does that sometimes. Rob Robertson. Should we talk about Monster Cruise?
Yeah, sure.
We'll come to it, but at some points during this movie, it feels like you're watching two separate movies.
Indeed.
We've said that many times on this show before. But this, in fact, is true. We are watching two separate movies here. Because all he's done to make this movie is take Monster Cruise,
Which
and
was
added
from 2010.
and added some more scenes in
Yeah.
with different characters.
So there's two parallel storylines.
Two parallel storylines going on in this movie, which is fine, it happens. However, these characters never interact and never reference each other. In both, you're watching two movies at the same time.
Yeah.
Just to stuff out.
Which has been like retconned into this one movie.
It's so jarring.
It's weird, isn't
It
it?
is really weird.
I love it already. But you can just go and find
This is what we want. This is what we want on Bottom of the Stream. This is why we've done what we've done. Shall we start?
Sure.
Do you have a one-word review?
Toto, we're not in Scotland anymore.
That's also true. This film's set in America and in a lake, and it's got a Loch Ness monster in it.
So Nessie has somehow teleported to... I guess I could tell you how she's teleported.
Go on.
Well, we'll get to it in
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
There
Okay,
is a teleportation element to this movie
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, why not? Why not at all? Where does this movie start now?
A lake.
Indeed.
Slow motion. Everything's hazy and in slow motion.
Yes,
And then we see a tail.
we do. The very first thing we see in this movie is the Loch Ness monster,
Yeah.
which is a surprise to me.
We see Nessie. We hear her screeching. How would you describe the special effects?
Terrible. Amateurish, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, superimposed onto an actual lake with no... The Loch Ness Monster does not affect anything on the water.
When my kids were at nursery,
Yeah.
they used to have this so preschool, they used to have this company come in once a year.
Yeah.
And they would put a little green screen behind them all.
Okay.
The kids, and one at a time, and they'd sit in like either a little boat or a little car.
Yeah.
And they'd just film them, and you'd have a person obviously off screen telling them to wave this hand, hand, rock, whatever. And then obviously they'd superimpose, like one was like they were on a boat like going across the ocean, and here's a seagull, here's a crab, and the quality of the animation in that sort of, pop up, traveling DVD making company was very similar to the special effects in this movie.
Yeah, the special effects in this movie are not its selling point. That is for sure. My first note says, we meet an old sea fella with a machete.
I've put Captain Birdseye and then crossed it out and put Jack.
Yeah, his name's Captain Jack, because, everybody who ever goes to sea is called Captain Jack these days.
He does. He just waves a machete at the Loch Ness Monster.
He does, and he tells Nessie, you've got a week to leave town.
Yeah, clear off.
Clear off. Get out. I don't want you here anymore. It's a lake, let's say. He can't really go anywhere, but hey-ho. And then my next note says, banging theme tune. There's a theme tune that plays over the credits. It's awesome. It's a great little ditty.
It's a man who is late, isn't he?
Yes.
He's packing his lunch and he's walking through town.
Yep.
And that's what the banging theme tune apparently
plays
is
over the
playing
top.
over.
Indeed. Did you not think it was a great tune? I loved it.
It was... No, I don't think it stuck in my head.
And this guy we later find out is Larry. He's the main guy in this film, or half of this film. And he's going to open up his video shop.
Yeah, he is. He works at the DVD store. I was quite half expecting Jay and Silent Bob to be out the front.
It's exactly what the sort of thing it was. And also the sort of character that these two are. Then...
Larry's late. He's always late. And the guy he works with is out front saying, Larry, you're always late.
Yeah, but it's Larry... It feels like it's Larry's shop.
Yes.
And this other guy just works for
him.
Then we cut to a load of kids.
No, first they instantly discuss the lake monster.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, straight away.
Because Izzy, who's the other guy who works in the shop, is like, I'm not sure about some of these old horror films.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, is that because it reminds you of the story of the monster who lives in the lake here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we cut to a load of kids walking to school. They're all like 10-year-old kids.
Yeah.
They're all walking to or from school. I couldn't write.
To school. I've got a major problem with the timeline.
Okay, cool. Okay.
But because they are definitely walking to school at this point.
Right. And they're all kind of stuck to their mobile phones.
Except Jamie, who's not got a phone.
Jamie doesn't have a mobile phone. So he wants to just talk instead. He's like, why can't we all just talk?
And all the kids are like, they basically ignore him. One of them turns around and goes, chatting's for parents.
Yeah, that's what parents do.
Yeah, we're cool kids. We're on our phones.
They come to a fork in the road, and they always take the right fork.
Yeah, Jamie's like, there's a shortcut this way.
Yeah,
if we cut down by the lake,
we'll go quicker. Let's take the left fork. I took it the other day on my own. But they don't want to because of the monster in the lake. They don't want to go near
They tell him about... Because he seems to be unaware of this legend.
Yeah, but none of them have ever seen it.
No.
Bobby is one of the kids. He's heard it before, he claims.
Yeah, he says him and his dad were out near the lake on the 4th of July watching the fireworks.
Yeah.
And they heard this huge roar, so they ran.
So the kids all go right, except for Jamie, who decides to go left on his own.
Yeah, it takes a shortcut.
My next note says, some cartoon gangsters arrive at the video store.
The local mob.
So you've got a short guy in a suit.
Yeah.
And a big guy in a vest and a hat with a baseball bat.
Yes.
Who basically are cartoon characters.
Yeah. They literally look like the Ant Hill mob.
Exactly what they look like.
So Tony's like the little one, the boss, and then Alphonse is the muscle.
Yeah. And they turned up at the video shop because Larry and Izzy owe them money.
It's a protection racket.
Yeah, basically.
They owe him like a grand, I think.
Yeah. He says, look, you've got till Saturday, then I'm coming back and I'm going to
bust you up.
Then the landlord shows up, Mr. Mason. He wants his rent for the shop.
He says, you're 2 months down.
Yes.
I need it by Saturday, basically.
Basically, yeah. So Larry's got this like money issues. This is what we're establishing here. We cut back to the kid.
There's a line here.
Oh, go on.
And it's like, this just really summed up this movie to me. So, because Larry, after they've seen off the landlord and the mob, Larry says something like, "Oh, how am I going to pay off this money?" And Izzy says, "Oh, get another job," or something like that. And Larry says it was a rhetorical question. and Izzy goes, "Who's rhetorical?"
Yeah.
That's what qualifies as a joke in this movie.
That does sum up this movie. You've never been more right. Ridiculous. Jamie, meanwhile, he's gone the walk. He's now on his own walking home, and he hears some noises.
Yeah, there's some monster noises.
Yeah, it spooks him a little bit. He's in like this old abandoned.
He's walking between all these shacks in various state of disrepair by the lake.
And he goes and hides in one of them. And he bumps into the Captain Jack, the old dude.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, don't be afraid of me. I'm a friendly old bearded,
seafarer.
Bearded captain.
He's literally dressed like Captain Birdseye. He's got the hat and everything.
And he says, "Yeah, don't be afraid of me.
But you should be afraid.
You should be afraid of the monster,
Loch Ness monster that's down there." And he's like, "Look, I'm the only one who's ever seen him, but I will show you him. Let me go and show you who he is."
I thought this was a bit questionable because he's never met this kid before.
No.
He makes him do a spit shake first.
Does, yeah, with a 10-year-old. It's a bit weird.
And then he says to the kid, "Do you want to see my monster?"
Yeah, that happens.
I was like, I'm not sure this should...
No?
I'm not sure I feel comfortable.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? And then we meet a rich dude who's playing golf, but he's not playing golf. He's driving golf balls at ginger people.
Well, he's on the putting green.
Yeah.
Like on the putting range. But he's got a driver and he's literally... Yeah, he's just driving golf balls at minions.
Yeah, at ginger people.
Yeah.
He's hit like 3 ginger people on the head with golf balls, and he's really enjoying himself.
This is the evil local businessman.
Yes, I have got his name.
Maxwell.
Maxwell, that's him. Then Kitty shows up.
His like evil assistant.
Evil personal assistant who is I can say busty blonde, I think.
Yes.
Because
yes,
she's unbelievably busty. And she informed...
Which kind of fits. Now you know what you know about the director.
Yes.
You'd imagine that he's got this sort of person a lot of in his sort of little black book.
Movies. Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting casting for a kid's movie.
She comes to tell him that somebody has died. And
Skipper's died.
Skipper has died. And he owns some land that what's his name?
Maxwell
wants to own. But it's been inherited by a guy called Larry, who we know Larry.
Yeah.
We know he's inherited some money. And Maxwell says, right, we need to get this land off Larry. I need this land. As one of your stories is developing.
Yeah.
Cut
back to the dock.
Yep.
With Captain Jack and Jamie. And they see Nessie's tail.
Yeah, Captain Jack calls Nessie, and they do. They get a glimpse of his tail.
He said, Jack says to Jamie, "You can't tell anyone."
Yeah.
Because Jamie's like, "Oh, we could get people down here, tourists."
Yeah. Jack was also quite surprised that Jamie saw it because he's never known anybody else see it other than him. Yeah. I don't think he even believed it was real himself until this point.
And then Jack says, like, "I always find it's only the kids that listen to me."
Yeah.
Again, it was a bit dubious.
But he wants Captain Jack says to Jamie, "I need it to leave because it's scaring people and it's putting people off coming here." And this is like
the businesses around the lake.
Businesses around the lake need to be better.
Jamie says, "Right, I'm going to come back after school. I'm going to bring my friends. They're never going to believe this."
Yeah. He then goes home, has dinner with his parents, and he gets told off for talking to strangers, which he shouldn't be doing because he's 10.
And I can't remember if his mum or dad who say this, being very patronised, but obviously he's telling him he's seen this monster. And one of his parents says, "Are you sure it wasn't a sailboat?"
Yeah, it was his mum.
Like... How stupid do you think your kid is?
Yeah, exactly. Did you notice what they were eating for dinner at this point?
I did not, no.
They were eating what I'm only going to describe as lettuce and bread.
Oh.
That was the only things that were on the table. And that's the only thing that was on all of their plates.
Oh, and this was my problem with the time as well, because I think it's then the dad says, "Are you sure it wasn't an optical illusion because of the sunset?" Yeah. I'm like, he was walking to school.
Yeah, I think he was walking to school.
What time do you think this kid goes to school?
Jamie then uses this opportunity to ask his parents for a phone because he hasn't got a phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, if I had a phone,
all my friends have got a phone.
If I had I think he says if I have the new iPhone, I'd be able to take pictures of it and I could prove it to everybody." They're not buying that.
The new iPhone 8 with all the cool apps.
That's what he says. with all the cool apps. But they're not buying that. They're not buying him a phone. They're absolutely adamant he's not having a phone, in fact.
Yeah. So he has to be excused from the table because he's full of lettuce and bread.
He's full of lettuce and bread. He's like, I'm done. Can I go to my room? And he's got a younger brother called Alfie.
Yeah.
Who's, 5 or 6?
Yeah, something like that.
And Alfie follows him. And Jamie goes into his mum and dad's bedroom where he steals his dad's camera, which appears to have been hidden in his sock drawer.
Yeah.
And he swears Alfie to secrecy. He's like,
and there's a point. There's one of them says in the conversation. Excuse me. I haven't got the lead up to it in my notes. But they're talking. The two brothers are talking, and like, oh, it's dad's prized possession. He doesn't let anyone. I think it's something like he doesn't let anyone use that. Not even mum.
Yeah.
And the other one says, well, that's because women are bad photographers.
It does like that. Jamie said that.
I'm like, what? Who's written that as a line and why?
No, we haven't also mentioned how poor all of the acting is in this.
Do you know what is weird about this film as well? Is because it's HD, but it's a real low quality. It's a high quality picture, but a low quality film. It's one of those. It's hard to describe where it's the HD is almost doing it a disservice.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because
with
you can see how ropey everything is in terms of the scenery, the.
Absolutely.
It just looks weird.
Yeah,
because of that.
I mean, it is weird. Meanwhile, come back to Larry. He's got a letter. It's about his inheritance.
Again, it's just the little details that made me laugh because it's the postman's delivering a sealed envelope to him, like a jiffy bag. And he comes to Larry and he says, I'm looking for Larry. Yeah. And Larry's obviously presuming it's another bill or a summons. He's like, he's not here today. And the guy goes, oh, that's a shame. He's inherited something. Yeah. I'm like, you wouldn't know this? You're the postman.
How would you know this? Yeah.
So Larry goes, oh, no, it's me.
It's me, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about another Larry.
Yeah.
Come back to Jamie. Jamie, this must be the next day now.
Oh, no, first he opens the letter.
Oh, yeah.
So Larry finds out his grandpa's died.
Yeah.
And he's inherited a boat, a cabin, some other property, and also 40k in debt.
Yes. Which is probably a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is the next day because Larry's getting post, so it must be in the next morning.
Yeah, sure.
Jamie meets up with his friends again. He tells them that he saw Nessie, and I'm going to get a picture of it and sell it to the National Inquisitor.
Yes.
So that's why I've got this big camera that I've stolen from my dad.
And all the other kids are like, you shouldn't be hanging around with that captain guy. He's local celebrity.
He's creepy,
for being weird.
Yeah. And then they just get back on their phones and go to school.
Yeah.
Cut back, we meet up with Larry and Izzy again. They've left their video shop. They've taken their car to go and check out what Larry's inherited.
Yeah.
And they've got a boat.
And it's like a party boat, isn't it?
It's got a slide on the back.
Yeah.
He's very happy about the slide.
It's on 2 levels.
Yeah.
It's like a lake party boat, yeah.
Yeah. And a girl comes out and she introduces herself as Tamra Williams.
She's covered in shit.
She's covered in shit. Literally.
Yeah, like we see her from the back and she's just all up the back of her legs and stuff.
Yeah, why not? She knew his grandfather because she runs the bait shop that Larry now owns.
Yeah.
So there's a bait shop on the lake.
Which he is now the landlord
He is now the landlord of.
And she says to him, I'm a bit behind in my rent.
Yes. And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. We're all behind in our rent. And then 2 guys from the TV show Unsolved Mysteries show up.
Yeah, so 2 science guys.
Yeah, because they're coming to look for Nessie
in lab coats.
Yeah.
Going out on the lake.
And meanwhile, Nessie is 10 feet away from them, just watching those 2.
Because they're bickering.
Yeah, they miss it. But he's just sitting. That's the second time we see Nessie in this movie.
Larry's already in love with Tamara.
Yeah, instantly falls in love with her. He's decided he's going to keep the boat because Izzy says, what are you going to do? You're going to sell it? He's like, no, I'm keeping the boat. And Izzy's like, okay, well, I'm going to fall asleep on it then.
Yeah.
So he does. He falls asleep because Larry goes off to try and find Tamara again. Izzy is asleep.
I thought this was going to be a dream sequence.
So did I.
Not.
But it wasn't. We've only just done the Botzkers, but batshit crazy. Memorable moment.
A woman emerges from the lake in her swimming costume.
Just kind of magically appears on the boat behind him. She just fades into existence and wakes him up.
She says, my name's Ariel.
Yes. And she needs his help. So he's like, you're beautiful. I'll help you with anything.
What do you need?
Yep.
So they get in his car.
It's not even his car, it's Larry's car.
sorry,
They get
it's
in Larry's
Larry's
car and they drive off at breakneck speed.
They drive out of the boatyard, but the footage is played fast.
Yeah, it's like a 70s
Double time
British
or whatever.
porn movie.
And then as the car sort of gets to the top of the road, it disappears through a portal.
It vanishes. Yeah.
There's a little special effect, a
yeah.
little white portal.
Pings out of existence.
Yeah.
This woman's only in a
Swimming
swimming costume at this point.
How is that? What's going on now?
Fuck knows. Meanwhile, we go back to Larry. He's gone to check out Skipper's cabin.
Yeah.
So this is where Skipper lived that he's inherited. And then he falls asleep as well. Just randomly out of nowhere, just randomly falls asleep because that's what people do in this movie.
Sure.
And he gets woken up by Tamara. And she's like, will you come and help me dig up some bait? Because that's what we do in a bait shop, I guess.
Red wrigglers.
Red wrigglers.
I shouldn't call them worms.
No, they're not called worms. So he does. He goes out and helps her dig up some red wigglers. Then I'm only going to have to read what this note says. It says, Izzy and Ariel appear to have somehow landed in Lapland.
Yeah, they're on. They suddenly park the car and it's snowing.
Yeah.
I thought they're on a snowy plain somewhere. I thought they were in Russia.
Yeah.
And then he checks the sat nav.
Yeah, he does.
And they're in Lapland.
They shout at an old woman and she answers them in Russian.
Yeah.
Norwegian, I guess.
And they're in Lapland and she says, "Oh, but I love it here. I'm going to take you sardine racing tomorrow."
Yeah. What the fuck is going on? What is this? I mean, even kids are not this weird, are they? Tamara says to Larry, look, I'll give you a tour of the lake tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they're going to do that tomorrow. Then we come back to Jamie. He is on...
I love this. So there's library footage of a school bus.
Yeah.
So
even though it's established that these kids walk to and from school.
Yes. And then we cut to the shot of them clearly just in the back of a car.
Yes. Absolutely in the back of a
I
car.
loved it.
Yeah, he's talking to Janelle, who's his friend. And it's his love interest, I guess. This is the girl he's got a bit of a crush on.
She sort of wants to believe him about Nessie.
Yeah, and he's already got a crush on her a little bit.
And she says, look, can I come when you go and take your award-winning picture?
Yeah.
It's going to make you all this money. Can I come?
Yeah, and he offers to help her with her maths homework because he's good with numbers. We get told this about Jamie about 8 times in this movie, that he's good with numbers.
Yeah, sure.
But he's like, yeah, of course you can. I'm madly in love with you. Why not? Then we go back to Maxwell. We haven't seen him for a while.
No.
They've been doing some research on Larry and they've found out that he's broke and they want the land that he's just inherited.
So they think he's going to be a really easy target to buy this land off.
Basically, they own the entire land around the entire lake.
Apart
from the bit that Skipper owned. And now they think they can easily get it off.
And Maxwell wants to build a casino.
Yes. Because why not?
Sure. It's what you do in films like this. What they wanted to do in the Goonies. That wasn't a casino. But you get the point.
Yeah. It was bizarre. So we cut back to Jamie and Janelle. If I'm doing a lot of cutting back and forward, it's because we're watching 2 movies at the same time. That's what's happening here. We cut back to Jamie and Janelle. They go to find Captain Jack. They can't find him. So they go to where he lives, his little shack thing in this place of abandoned shacks. And they knock his door down.
Yes,
literally. They knock on the door and the door falls over. That can't be breaking and entering if they go in now because the door was open. So they go in and have a look around. Izzy and Ariel turn randomly back up.
Well, first they watch the sardines race in Lapland.
They do watch the sardine race.
But all we see is just a picture of a river.
Yeah, we never see a single sardine.
And they're looking at a gog
they're watching something that we're not seeing.
We can't see. We're just seeing library footage of a stream. And then Izzy says to her, "Well, now we've done something you like. Can I take you to one of my hobbies?" And she says, "Yeah." And he says, "Have you ever heard of a double header?" He's talking about baseball.
Yeah.
So they get it back in the car and they teleport from Lapland to Baltimore.
Yeah.
To watch 2 baseball games.
Yeah, apparently so. Then they turn back up at the lakeside.
Yeah.
And Larry decides that they need to film a TV advert for his new boat tour business that they're going to do. They're going to do tours of the lake. Why not? So they do. Instantly, we see this advert being filmed.
And broadcast.
And broadcast, because we watch it being broadcast with Maxwell and Kitty.
Yeah.
They're watching it being broadcast, and they're a bit annoyed about it.
He's like, oh, this guy's got a business idea.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's not the pushover that we were expecting. So Maxwell says to Kitty, call some of my contacts at the TV and get it shut down. Get this off the air. I don't want it on here. Meanwhile, we cut back to the random two guys from Unsolved Mysteries that just are in this
bickering
movie.
in the boat.
Yeah.
About, they're doing like their checklist of equipment, and one of them, they're accusing each other of forgetting an important
they literally
bit of
start
kit.
fist fighting on a boat with each other. These two guys don't have any names. They don't have any backstory. There's no purpose to them there. They're just there. This is where Larry finds out that Maxwell owns all the land as well. Tamra tells him what's going on. He wants to build a casino. He's going to come for you. He's going to turn up at some point because he's going to want to buy this land off you.
And then there's a massive lurching left turn, handbrake turn of a development, which no one has mentioned before. Because Tamara reveals, after she's revealed all the stuff about Maxwell owning all the land, that rumour has it there's buried pirate treasure somewhere around the lake.
Yeah.
But no one knows where it is because no one ever found a map.
There's a map somewhere. We know there's a map, but we don't know where the map is.
Because I think Skipper, Larry's granddad, used to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, fuck me, how shoehorned in is this?
Just a bit. Yeah, it was insane. Come back to the house. Dad, I can't call him his name because he's credited as Dad, and he's the only thing he's referred to as. Dad notices his camera's missing.
Yeah.
He thinks they've been robbed. Well, he looks for it for ages first. And then the mum comes in and asks if he's looked in all the other drawers, even though he knows where he keeps it. And then Alfie just blurts out the fact that Jamie's stolen it.
Well, you know what snitches get.
Yeah. I don't think he does, because I don't think he's in this film again after this.
Maybe he did get. Maybe his dad did.
Maybe he's been murdered. Maxwell then meets up with Larry. They actually bump into it. Well, don't bump into each other, but they...
he offers him 50k.
Give him a check. He says, here's a check for 50k. If you cash it, it's all yours, but the land will be mine. Tamra overhears... When Maxwell's gone, Tamra overhears
Larry and Izzy talking about whether they should accept the offer.
And assumes that he's going to sell and runs off all upset.
Yeah.
Cut back to Jamie and Janelle in this other movie that we're watching. They found out that Captain Jack... Well, they're in Captain Jack's house.
Yes, find some old newspaper clippings.
And they find out that Captain Jack used to be the mayor of the town.
Yeah.
But he was sacked when he started going on about how he keeps seeing this sea monster. The whole town thought he was crazy and they fired him. Captain Jack then walks in on them in his house, but isn't annoyed with them. He's like, wow, it's a shack, isn't it? Just come do what you want.
He's like, well, it's going to get dark soon.
Yeah.
You kids probably shouldn't be here. I'll take you home.
Yeah, he offers to take them home safely. And he says, maybe we'll see Nessie tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've not even attempted to see him today. We've just gone and interrupted this guy's life instead. God, this bit really pissed me off. Larry goes looking for Tamra, but he goes into Skipper's
old cabin
to look for her, which is not where she lives. And then why he looks in the fireplace?
I more got the impression he'd sort of got
given up and was lighting a fire.
He couldn't find her, and he was settling down for the night.
He was like, I'm going to look for Tamra. He's looking everywhere, and then he's in the chimney trying to find her. Stands up and bangs his head really hard on the chimney breast.
Yeah.
Which dislodges a photograph that's on the wall above the chimney breast, which doesn't break. But then when he picks it up, he looks in the back of it, and there's the treasure map that we found out about 2 minutes ago.
This treasure map was drawn by a child.
100%.
Like, it's got an outline of an island on, and an X marks the spot. There is no defining features on this map.
Nothing at all.
Whatsoever.
There's literally an outline of an island, which
is
not on an
really
island.
funny in a couple of scenes' time.
Yeah. And a big old X that takes up probably half of the map.
It's like when the kids do their homework for school.
Yeah.
Where it's like a tea-stained bit of
exactly
paper.
What it is. Exactly what it is. Captain Jack's then making good on his promise to take the kids home safely, although he's like, here's some lanterns because it's getting dark outside.
Full light.
Full on midday it's outside. It's not dark at all.
He says, but he opens up to them a bit and he says, I've been shunned for years. They call me Captain Crazy. I know what the town says about me.
Yeah.
And one of the kids asks him, what does estranged mean? Because one of the newspapers says you were estranged from your son.
Yes.
And he says, my son, we fell out and he moved to Shelbyville.
Not Springfield.
For the lemon tree.
And his son is also called Jamie. Or James.
Yeah.
Which is Jamie's actual name because he introduces himself as James. So is this why he's taken Jamie under his wing a little bit?
I have no idea.
Reminds him of his son? Yeah. I don't know. Larry then runs to show Izzy the map that he's found. And because he's like, well, we need to go and find this buried treasure. It's he says, it's over there. He literally just points across the lake and says, it's over there.
Jamie returns home with the camera.
Dad's not happy at all.
But they quickly hug it out.
Yeah, 100%.
And then instead of really telling him off and giving him
him
a life lesson, he's like, hey, kid, here's the new iPhone 8 with all the cool apps. And he's like, he goes, oh, great. Now I don't need to borrow your camera. I can take a brilliant photo of Nessie on this.
Yeah.
And then his mum goes, yeah, and then you can put it on Facebook. So apparently they've opened him a Facebook account as well.
They have murdered his brother for being a snitch, but also rewarded him for being a robber by buying him a new iPhone 8 with all the cool apps.
I don't even know what number iPhones are at now. Is it 13?
15?
15, really? Okay.
Maybe. Oh. I don't know.
No, I mean...
Come back to Maxwell. He's on the golf course again, and he's planning where the 50-foot marble statue of him is going to go.
Yeah, in place of this like
old oak tree.
Oak tree on the golf course. And it's the first time like his assistant seems to be like questioning. I'm
crazy.
not sure of the motives of this guy.
Yeah.
I think he might like himself a bit much.
He then goes on TV, gets interviewed on TV by somebody.
It's the local news. He's just self-promoting, isn't he?
He claims that he is a quarter Native American.
Yes, and that's why he's the best person to build this casino.
Because Native Americans build casinos. Yeah. Cut back to Jamie. Jamie uses his new phone to make a telephone call to Captain Jack's son. Because why not?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the cartoon gangsters show back up. They're looking for Larry at his video shop. But Larry appears to have completely forgotten that he runs a video shop.
But they do find the letter about the inheritance, which tells them where he probably is because of the boat and the address of the cabins and stuff like that. So
come back to Larry and Izzy. They're following the treasure map. They're what? They're following the treasure map.
But the absolute balls on this movie, because we even see Larry open up the treasure map and follow with his finger. He's like, oh, and it's just down here and then through this path. And then he's holding this blank piece of paper in his hand.
100%. And then Izzy says to him, oh, that's good. That's only an inch away. And Larry's like, well, an inch is a mile. What are you talking about? So they walk another mile in this direction and they do find where the X is. But unfortunately, it's right in the middle of the golf course.
Yeah.
So they start digging up the golf course. And they dig up 18 separate holes.
Yeah.
Because 18 holes on a golf course.
Yeah, because Larry's like, oh, now people are getting double their value. It's a 36-hole golf course now.
And they do find a chest. I'm not going to say treasure chest.
Treasure chest.
It's a box with a very modern-looking padlock on it.
Yeah, it's a very shiny padlock.
Very shiny padlock, which they break off. And when they open up the box, what do they find?
Rocks.
It's a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Because this film's mad as a box of rocks. Yeah, that's the end of that story. Jamie then tells all his friends to be at the lake after school. He's got something to show them.
This was amazing, this bit.
Okay.
So all the kids are together.
Yeah.
And Jamie's saying, look, I've got a new phone. How cool is this? It's got all the cool apps on. It's better than all your phones. And he says, look, come with me after school. Yeah. I'm going to get this photo of Nessie.
Yeah.
And they're all like, well, most of them are like, yeah, whatever. We still don't believe you. And Jamie says, I've got a plan. I've worked it out. I know when Nessie is going to appear.
Yeah.
They're all like, what? What is it? And he says, Nessie seems to appear more whenever Captain Jack is emotional.
When he shows emotion, yeah.
And I'm like, where has this come from?
Where have you got that from?
Yeah.
Because you saw him yesterday and he was
You've
fine.
seen the tail in the distance.
Yeah.
And he's worked this out with no evidence.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
Absolute leaps in this film.
And he's going to make Captain Jack emotional by making him so happy later on.
Because we've seen him. He's rung his estranged son.
Meanwhile, back at the golf course, the gangsters show up. The cartoon gangsters show up.
Yeah.
And they manage to grab hold of Larry and Izzy. And the guys get away in a golf cart.
There's a golf cart chase.
They get a golf cart chase.
And they're like throwing shoes out the back at the mob.
Yeah,
and golf clubs.
Part of it is real. Part of it is sped up again. Like
Benny Hill.
Part of it is on a green screen for some reason, but most of it is real. Until the point where the gangsters crash into.
They argue amongst themselves.
Yeah, they have an argument.
They're incompetent.
Lose control of their car and crash into
the pond.
The pond on the golf course. In some of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The water doesn't even disturb, and the boat just the cart just disappears into it.
And then we switch.
That's the end of them as well.
And then we switch straight back to the main lake, Ness's lake.
Yeah.
And the scientists
Unsolved Mysteries guys
are now playing around with a stick of dynamite.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know how that's going to help them do science.
Fuck knows, it doesn't help them do science.
And you just said one of the worst special effects you've ever seen with the golf cart going into the lake. But now this boat explodes.
Yeah, they blow themselves up.
And it's like someone's superimposed a explosion from a Tom and Jerry cartoon on this movie.
I was like, those two scientists have just blown themselves up in this family movie. That's very strange. So weird.
This just sounds absolutely nonsensical.
Because it is. It is absolutely nonsensical. We're getting towards the end, but we're not there yet. But I've got many things to say about this movie.
We then cut to Larry, goes back to Maxwell, the evil businessman, and says, I am not selling.
Yep.
Offer whatever you want, I'm not selling. So Maxwell says, okay, 150k.
Yeah, triples his offer, straight on the table.
And Larry still says no, eventually. Yep. He hesitates a bit, but he says no.
And meanwhile, back at the boat, Ariel shows back up.
She says to Izzy,
she's in the water.
I'm not sure if you realised.
He's on the boat, she's in the water.
I'm a bit of a mermaid.
I'm a mermaid. And she's called Ariel. Who'd have thought it?
With teleportation powers.
Yeah, seems to be. I don't think Izzy had realised. I don't know. This guy was a doofus. I don't know who he was. Larry then goes to a used car lot.
Sells his car.
And manages to pay off all of his debts.
Yeah.
Everything he owned.
How much was this car worth?
Fuck no, it was a nothing car. Why didn't he just do this to start with?
Goes to Tony, pays the mob off.
Yep. Goes to Mr. Mason.
Yeah, pays his landlord off. And then tells Tamara, goes to Tamara and says, I'm not selling.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've got enough money for the next 2 months mortgage.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry. You can have 2 months free, basically.
Yeah.
To get the business back up, the bait shop back up and running.
Yep. Jamie then, we cut back to Jamie who's talking to Captain Jack and telling him his theory. He says, look, I think the Nessie shows up when you're emotional.
Yes, he's like sympathetic to you.
Yeah. And Captain Jack seems to be like, yeah, I think you're probably right, actually. That makes sense. So, and then he's like, so because of that, here's your son. It's like Cilla Black in Surprise, Surprise. They have their nice family reunion. They hug. It's like the end of Home Alone when the old man Marley hugs his son. Larry then goes to the bank to make his mortgage payment.
Yeah.
He's going to go in person because it's safer. But also Maxwell is there.
Yeah. And
he's having a meeting about something.
Yeah.
And Kitty spots Larry turn up. And so Maxwell says, oh, we can't let him pay that mortgage payment because then we'll have to wait another 2 months before we can do anything. So I'm going to steal it.
Yeah. You cause a distraction, beautiful assistant.
Yeah, so she goes out into the main bank area, pretends to faint. Larry comes out of the office that he's waiting in to see what all the commotion is about. Yeah. Why he couldn't just pay his mortgage at the teller station like everybody else would have.
And Maxwell, there's a couple of inches of space.
Yeah.
And Maxwell
does the comedy sneak behind him, steals Larry's money, and runs off. Literally runs out of the building.
And decides to steal a car.
Yeah, he steals a car.
This is this uber rich businessman.
Yeah, just must have walked to the bank. I don't know. Steals a car. And then we get a car chase, which is a very similar vein to the golf cart chase we had earlier.
I had the subtitles on.
Okay.
And it just, as they were doing the car chase, the subtitle just said action music.
Yeah, that's fair. So they drive all the way back to the lake.
Yeah.
Where Maxwell and Kitty managed to escape on a boat.
Yes. Taunting Larry. They're like, got your money.
Yeah, got your money. We're on a boat. You can't follow us. You don't have a boat.
Ariel dives in after them.
Yeah, she jumps into the water to try and do something.
Yeah.
Larry gets so angry that he throws his mobile phone at the boat that he does own, that apparently he can't use, which knocks off some of the paint.
Yeah.
which reveals that there's gold underneath the painted boat.
This party boat is made of solid gold.
Yeah, then all the paint comes off,
Yeah.
and the boat is made of solid gold.
This is the treasure.
This is the treasure that isn't buried where the treasure map pointed them to.
No.
I presume the skipper had found the treasure, reburied the rocks,
Fucking solid gold party boat.
Solid gold party boat, and then painted it red. Ariel then calls Nessie. She makes the Nessie sounds, and Nessie turns up and
headbutts the
boat that Maxwell and Kitty are on.
Yeah, into the air.
And everyone sees it. The kids and Captain Jack and Larry and everybody. Even though they're in two separate places, they see it.
Yeah, they're not together. We just cut.
Yeah, these two movies don't interact with each other. What's it? Janelle, she's very happy with Jamie. She gives him a little peck on the cheek. The Unsolved Mysteries guys climb out of the water. They seem fine.
Yeah. Still arguing, and they're like, oh, we got to go back to the lab and see what equipment survived.
And they're so blind that they don't even notice a small Loch Ness monster jumps into the back of their car.
Yeah, but it looks totally different to Nessie.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Like, I watched that bit twice where this thing jumped out of the lake into the back of their car.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like anything. It's just a shape.
Yes.
That is vaguely like
Loch Ness monster shape.
Yeah.
That jumps into the back of the car. They drive off, and then the car goes out of control, and you can hear screaming.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends.
My last 3 words in these notes are just, oh my God.
What the actual fuck has just happened?
It's insane. This movie is insane. This is a family kids movie. It's crazy.
It's absolute batshit. It's pure nonsense from start to finish.
Yeah.
At no point does anybody in the Larry, Izzy, Maxwell, Kitty, Ariel story ever even mention a Loch Ness monster. No. It's not mentioned in their story.
They talk about
all.
Something called Okopoko.
Yeah. Which is nothing.
Which is
just nonsense words.
Which presumably is the monster that's referred to in Monster Cruise.
Yeah, presumably.
The other movie which this footage was originally from.
Which has been released. It's not like this isn't a movie that's out there. This movie exists. And then Jamie and the
Captain Jack
and everything, they're talking about this Loch Ness monster thing. But this is literally like watching 2 separate movies at the same time.
Yeah.
The characters never interact. The storylines don't cross over. No. Even when the monster comes out at the end, you only get a reaction from Jamie's crew. You never really see Larry's reaction to.
No, they're not shocked.
No,
they don't seem too shocked when the monster.
No,
when Nessie headbutts
them. Yeah.
Maxwell's boat out of the water.
I've never seen anything like it. Genuinely, I've never seen anything like it.
It's an absolute patchwork of a movie.
We've said that about movies before, but this genuinely is. This
stitched
is
together.
2 movies stitched together.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating that it's like out there and exists. I really want to get a kid's opinion on it. Can you make your kids watch it? I really want to know if a kid's going to enjoy this movie.
I don't think they sit for it.
Genuinely,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Not even the little one?
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
I think she'd wander off after an amount of time.
So disjointed. I don't even know where to start with it. The acting's abysmal.
Yeah, we've not really covered that. We've said it looks really weird because it's HD, but it looks cheap.
Yeah.
I tell you what I thought was particularly bad was the dad.
Yeah, he was really. And these had 217 acting credits.
Listen, he's a bad actor, but he's bad in this.
He's 100%. Really
I thought
the kids are not great, but the kids are kids. So that's
Captain Jack was all right.
He was fine. He was the best one in it, acting wise.
I mean, all the lot in the Larry side of things, they were all pretty bad.
They were like caricatures of actual people.
Yeah,
you got your crazy rich man. The 2 gangsters couldn't be more cartoon character.
No,
if they tried. I genuinely am so perplexed by this movie. I'm so glad we allowed Amazon on board. This is the sort of movie.
I think we've got a bit of a stay of execution the fact that it's the first movie out though.
Yeah, we have to
because where this is going to ultimately end up when other movies start dropping around it as the stream table develops is going to be really interesting because I didn't hate watching this movie.
No, not at all. It's entertaining just to
Well,
watch,
it is.
to laugh at it.
Awful.
It's like...
I know, I'm like... This would have been... Just going on, maybe it's a bit recency bias, but for example, if this had fallen in last season's stream table, I'm thinking it's got to be right down at the bottom. I don't know if it would have been at the bottom, but
It wouldn't have been at the bottom.
It would have been the bottom couple.
It would have been down
I
there.
think.
It's not Meet the Blacks bad.
But I wasn't watching this going... I was so fascinated by what was unfolding and the fact it was patched together that I and how terrible it looks. That I wasn't sitting there going, oh God, I can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the new quandary that we have on this show. Is now we've introduced Amazon into the mix, we're going to see a lot of films like this, I think.
Potentially.
But then we're going to have to judge them against proper Netflix stuff.
Maybe.
And I think it's building this season's stream tables, I think, going to be harder than ever.
I think that it probably leads to, especially when obviously the patrons and the Discord people get involved.
Of course, yeah, wildcards are back in play.
I think that as you're making your own versions of the stream table, there's probably even more of a range for them to be different.
Yeah, 100%.
Even more subjective, I think.
I feel like we're going to have a lot more arguments this season than we've ever had before.
Potentially.
I just get that feeling from...
Because if I'd have seen this on a bad day,
yeah,
I might have just gone, fuck it.
Oh, I would have as well. But also, if I'd have seen this on a good
interested.
day, I'd been like, this is fucking brilliant. This is exactly the sort of thing we should be doing.
Yeah.
Top of the stream. But...
It's we've sat and talked about it, and even as you were reading and I was sort of commenting on bits of that, I was like, this is just this is insane. We're saying insane things.
Yeah.
This is an actual movie, and it barely holds together. It makes no sense. And this is made, and it's just there for everyone to go and watch.
It's out there. It's 100% out there. All you've got to do is go onto Amazon and search Nessie Me, and you can watch this movie. It's easy.
It's such an interesting...
Made by a softcore porn director. Patched together from 2 movies starring Dirk Benedict's ex-wife.
Yeah.
This is why we brought Amazon on board. That last paragraph I've just said. This is what we've done. Yeah, so we've got no stream table to put it into. It's top and bottom currently at the stream table.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where things go around it.
Yeah, definitely.
It really is.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how fortunate or not we are with the randomizer.
What's the best thing about it?
Is it that it exists?
Yeah, I think it is.
That we get to watch it?
Genuinely is.
Well, because what's good about it, really?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, there's no redeeming features about it.
No, the best thing about it is when it turns out
that boat's made of gold.
Yeah, that party boat is made of solid gold. That is the best thing about it.
And all they've done there is put a gold filter over the actual boat. They've not done any other work there.
Yeah.
What were the 2 Unsolved Mysteries guys doing? Why were they even in this? Which movie were they from?
They
were like the
was
third
that new
movie.
footage or old footage?
That was like the 3rd movie. I don't know. I feel like they were part of the Larry story, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Looking for this, whatever, Ooga Booga Man or whatever it was. I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm so confused by this movie, but I love that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's
Batshit.
insane.
Pure batshit. Right, we need to pick next week's movie then.
We do.
We need to get Robin's new look out and see what it's going to give us. What do you want? Literally open to anything right now.
Yeah, I am.
Do you want to... should we do predicts Netflix or Amazon?
If you want to.
What do you reckon it's going to be?
I think it's going to be another Amazon.
Okay. I'm going to spin it. Are you ready?
Yes.
He has picked us a Netflix movie.
Okay.
So we're going 1 for 1 so far this season. And it is a movie called Office Invasion. Any ideas?
None whatsoever.
I feel like we'd already done it, but we did Office Uprising a few years ago, didn't we?
That was the zombie.
Yeah.
Zombies invading an office.
Yeah. This is Aliens.
Okay.
It's from 2022. Do you want a synopsis?
Yes, please.
3 best friends band together to defend their valuable mining company from monstrous aliens looking to plunder and exterminate.
Okay.
It's South African.
Oh my God.
Have you ever done a South African movie before?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have either. It is in the English language. but it is a South African movie.
Awesome.
It's on for 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Okay.
Up for that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah? We'll see which is better already, Netflix or Amazon. 1 for 1 in the stream table next week. So yeah, go out and watch Office Invasion. In the meantime, check us out on Instagram and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, loads of other cool stuff, all of the stream tables, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream stream boat. After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for £5 every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get the occasional bonus episode. You will get special access into our secret Discord area, and you will also get a wild card, which means you can pick the movie. You've got thousands to choose from now. Anything is up for grabs on Amazon or Netflix. Wildcards are back in play, by the way, to the existing Patreons. Do that. You'll get a movie. You pick what we watch 1 week, and we will add it into our stream table. If you pick the best one, at the end of the season, you'll win a prize. And then, when you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord is a wonderful group of wonderful people who will literally talk to you about anything. We play games. We do watch-alongs. We've got all sorts of cool stuff going on in the Discord, and lots more stuff to come. Discord link the Discord is awesome, and the Discord link is in the bottom of the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review and rating anywhere you can review and rate podcasts. It really helps get more eyes and ears on our show. We're on all the places you find your podcast, places like Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. Come find us and tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your nan, tell everybody you can think of. So go out and watch, what's it called? Office Invasion. And we'll be back on Monday for the first video show of the Bottom of the Stream show with Adam and Nick. And then next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers!
Bye!